So you boys all attend school out here in Wolftrapp, Minnesota. Uh, there's not a lot going on in the town. We've got the three wealthy families, the Johnsons being one of them. We've got the three wealthy families out here supporting the town, but outside of the big steel mill where they create a lot of these traps, there's not too much industry going on here. You all are boys at the local school, so you all attend classes together and you've been hanging out. We've talked about your somewhat strained relationships recently. Currently, where you all are at, each week there is a town hall meeting that most of the town attends, and they do it at the school. They use the gymnasium and the auditorium for it. Or no, they use the gymnasium for it with the bleacher seats. And then some specific things. There are some folks here that you can see as you all are shuffling in amongst the crowd. Since your families know that you boys are friends, they tend to hang. Your parents are at least cordial with each other. So you all are sitting nearby each other as you go in. Something you notice today is there's nothing wrong with being a Squatch, but there's a lot of folks dressed in their traditional Squatch robes today. Does anybody have an idea of what Squatch robes look like?
I imagine that they're like dark brown with like a red stripe across it, like kind of like symbolizing blood.
And they're super furry. Like they're very like ostentatiously furry.
Like almost fur coat.
Yeah, almost like a fur coat robe. Yeah.
And the shoes that they wear are kind of like those claw bare feet kind of.
Yeah. They're like slippers almost.
Slippers. Yeah.
Oh man. What a great look. So yeah, it's not at all unusual to see them amongst the town. People have varying opinions on them. You can all have your own opinions on them. Some people think that the Squatches are a ridiculous cult organization. Some believe they truly do serve the purpose. Others just kind of let live. It's a small town, and you don't want to alienate too many people because, yeah, you want to hang out. So you all come in for the meeting. It's a very dry meeting. You all have been to so many of these before, and like, what is there at all here for you all? They're talking about budgets and possibly constraints or like things coming up. We're gonna set this in the. This is late spring, early summer. So it's a mild temperature right now. We'll get very hot later. Some notable things about this time of year. The rumored 10-year anniversary of somebody going missing is coming up. So you all are aware of that as you come on in here. Some other things are the wolves around town have been acting particularly agitated recently. Been kind of nipping at people a little bit more than usual and less likely to take food. Some have even been hiding, staring out. As normal, none of them go into the park. And as the meeting rolls on, it finishes up after everybody, and we're in the kind of after party or the after gathering. If you've ever been to like a Sunday church, this is kind of the schmoozing that goes on afterwards of one of those. And you boys, you all see each other. You say hello. You're hanging out. And about this time, you notice that your parents have kind of made their way away. And Mr. Johnson, a very lanky, gloomy fellow, walks over and is like, "Hello, boys.
Hey, Dad.
Good to see you all again. Or good to see you, Pillsbury, Sven."
Mr. Johnson, good to see you.
One of the news items that had been discussed in the meeting had some of the current events that have been going on. There had been a local bake sale that had raised a lot of money for the Dancing Wolves and getting some new equipment. you had also heard about some efforts that they were making to make the wolves more acclimated. So maybe it was just like because it was later in mating season is why they're so agitated. So maybe like spreading some nice scents out to relax them. Maybe offering them like different kinds of food or nicer food. Something else that got mentioned is there had been a break-in at the steel mill recently, and something it was noted that many valuables were stolen, but in terms of specifics, they were not given. So with all of this in mind, Mr. Johnson comes up and is like, boys, might I have a word with you all? Finn, obviously, but Sven and Pillsbury, we need to talk. And if he leads you all away from the crowd, and you get brought into the way that I'm imagining where this gymnasium is in the school, is it's the gymnasium, and then a couple of doors in a hallway that leads to where the cafeteria is, and then past the cafeteria are some of the classrooms. So you go past the cafeteria into one of the small classrooms where you see all of your parents, now including Mr. Johnson as you're all walking in with him, in a very gray, elderly, hunched squatch, sitting in this classroom, and they're speaking in hushed tones, and everybody goes silent as you all walk in.
At the moment I walk through the door, I like kind of like put my head down and like try to leave.
Your father stops you.
Yeah.
Yes. No, Finn, this is important. We have to talk.
Is this an intervention?
Boys, no. You haven't been doing anything wrong. You're totally fine.
Did this have to do with a really nasty thing I said to the teacher the other day?
No. Although, and your
I was
parent,
curious.
yeah, your mother kind of like peeks up from back and like, Hon, what did you say? And then they kind of brush off like, that's not important. That's not important.
Is
like,
this because I won't amount to anything?
You want?
Is this because I want to be a comedian when I grow up?
No. I took that like career pamphlet thing, and my number one result was comedian, followed by magician, followed by interior designer. And I don't know what that says about me.
He can do it, man. I really think he can do it.
Yeah, no, that's important. That's important. But as you all, Mr. Johnson's like, I think you must best take it away, referring to the old squatch in the room. Which is great. It's like the elephant in the room, the squatch in the room. He's like, yes, boys, your parents and I have something to tell you.
Do we know him?
You don't know him.
Okay.
You have never seen him before. Even amongst the squatches, most of them are older, are older folk, but some particularly
So
don't.
even in our history, we like even with seeing them around, we have never seen this one before.
And you said he's a gray, like kind of like.
Yes.
So like he's older. So like maybe
he's definitely older. I'm looking at the stereotypical wizened old man, longer gray beard, basically bald.
Is this the Grand Yeti?
Is he the original Squatch?
Is he the Grand Yeti?
Oh, the Grand Yeti. Yes, he is the Grand Yeti.
Yes.
This is how he introduces himself. Like, boys, I am the Grand Yeti. My name is not important. It's Ted Willis, but it's not important.
Oh, hey, Ted.
Hello.
Hi, Ted.
I would prefer you refer to me as Grand Yeti.
Sure, GY.
I'm not hip.
all right, Grand Yeti.
Grand Yeti, fair enough, okay.
I'm not hip. Boys, although we kept it a secret, I wanted you to know, and this will become clear why we're telling you this now, that your family are part of the Squatches.
We've been secret squatches this whole time.
been secret squatches this whole time. The squatch blood runs in your veins.
Oh no!
All
what's
of
this
you.
gonna
So
do?
Harry?
I
Like, that way?
I kind of turned to my parents like, really? When did we join?
Although this is one of the largest squatch sects,
Oh.
there are many squatch sects around the world.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I thought of that. I knew you might have questions in particular, young Sven. You've all been squatches. And I'm afraid there have been some rather dire turnings as of late. And about this time, your father, Finn, is like, boys, you might have heard about the rumor of every 10 years, the sacrifice.
Yeah, Dad, you said that wasn't a real thing.
Well, son, and he like reaches over and he puts a very, a very bony hand on you. Well, sons, I'm afraid I haven't been entirely truthful with you.
Oh, man.
It is true.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Balls.
And don't worry, it's not you all, but he kind of looks amongst the family. The way that we stave off the elder spirit every 10 years is we have a sacrifice. And each year with that sacrifice comes a new trap that we must design to catch the elder spirit. And I'm afraid, boys, that break-in at the steel mill, someone has stolen the blueprints this year. Without it, the elder spirit could destroy this town. We, and he motions to the families, we have been elected to go stop it, which probably will cost us our lives.
Stop the spirit?
Yes.
So no pressure.
So
Okay,
you
good.
haven't found the blueprints?
They were stolen.
Didn't make a copy of the blueprints?
Is there a copy?
They're very specific blueprints. You can't simply recreate it. There are several unique materials that go in to each. We don't have a copy machine.
Those haven't been invented yet.
They have not. We keep them secure.
So I kind of lean over to Sven and say, like, dude, there actually is the spirit. You were right, man.
I thought that was just a legend from the old country. But nice. That's kind of cool, right?
Did you not hear what they just said? Gonna kill someone, man.
Dude, nothing really ever gets to me, but that does really suck.
And like I do the kind of motion that these two are now used to of just like receding into a shell of like just anxiety across the board.
Yes.
Oh man, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll find a way to get out of this. Don't worry.
Doughboy, don't get nervous.
So about this time, the Grand Yeti pipes. Boys,
Yes,
I know.
Grand Yeti, Master Yeti.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard to hear that your family might perish in the fight against the elder spirit. But have faith. They will die for a great cause.
Oh, that's comforting.
Oh.
They will die, is what you're
Or
saying?
they might die.
It is
Or
it is
all of them?
entirely yes. If we don't have a
Oh.
trap, we have to appease with numbers. And your family has been selfless. and offered themselves as a substitute.
They also offer us, or just that?
Are we?
No,
Oh, okay, that's good.
We're
Uh,
not gonna
they
die.
would never sacrifice the youths.
Oh, because we are the future, right? I
You are
bet
the
that'll be a great hit song one day.
And we are the
How-
world.
over here has a master of languages like no one,
Oh,
well, one.
I turn to Finn and say, "All right, remember everything I just said? Ignore that. Maybe this is time to panic."
That's what I'm saying, man. This is not
Yeah, you're-
good.
all right, yeah, this will.
We have gathered you
We'll
all
figure it out.
here tonight to say goodbye. They are going to go to the ritual grounds, and tomorrow, when the sun sets, the elder spirit will appear, and we must be ready. The ritual begins tonight. To stop it. I know it's hard, boys. You probably never had to deal with anything like this in your lives, but
How long does the ritual take?
it is about a day's worth of preparation, and then, yes, so they will be going out to our ritual grounds and preparing.
How long does the ceremony go from start to their death?
And
So we got a day.
so I'm just telling you that when the spirit shows up, it will be hungry for sacrifices. It is a vengeful spirit. Some say it takes the form of a bear, but we've never actually seen it to be sure. We only see its aftermath.
Oh wow. Okay. How does this? So you're just gonna leave us?
Boys, son, we will be leaving you in the best care that we can. You all will be able to live with the next door. You all have been your friends. We've all talked amongst ourselves that perhaps you all will live together under one roof with Aunt Gail down the lane.
Oh, she's a really nice lady. She never makes us do anything. That's cool.
Yes. We're sorry to leave you, but there's no way that we could possibly let the town be destroyed. As we have discussed, it is the only way that this can be resolved, obviously. Without the plans, we are nothing.
How long does it take to make the trap if we have the plans?
It would just be a matter of setting things up. I don't suppose very long at all. And to be honest, boys, it varies from individual to individual.
Cool. I'm gonna start slowly trying to get to the door. Just kind of like backing up piece by piece and like trying to move Sven and Pillsbury out.
Do you all need a moment?
Yeah, can we step outside for a second?
Of course.
This is a lot to take in.
Gather
Yeah.
our
Of course, boys.
emotions,
Of
yeah.
course. They let you step out in the hallway outside of this like English classroom.
Did anyone else follow us?
No, it's just you all.
So I'm immediately gonna look at Sven and Pillsbury and go, we need to find the plans. We can't lose our families.
Right. We'll have to do a lot of more things if we don't have a family. So, yeah, we should definitely do that.
I want to live with Aunt Gail.
I mean,
Yeah, and Gil,
yeah, she
puts
has a lot of,
Pillsbury to shame occasionally. Like, it's not good.
and she really likes potpourri.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I can't stand that smell. But we've gotta find those blueprints
Well,
and build that trap tonight.
I've got an idea, because we can't have them leave.
Right.
I would like to see if where does the door lock? Does it lock on the inside or the outside?
It locks on both, but you need a key.
Okay. Are there any chairs around?
Yes. I mean, there's some just kind of. You could like hop into a classroom nearby and
Do you
grab another
think
one.
that we could like try locking them in?
You want to barricade the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barricade the door.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can like, and you know there are no windows in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, so
Wait.
it's been
Can I? Do I have like if I go into my backpack, grab my Swiss Army knife? Does it have a screwdriver on it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Could I? Okay, I'm gonna look at Sven and Pillsbury and go, I need you guys to make a distraction as long as you can. And
who are we trying to distract?
the people in the room, I'm gonna try to see if I can mess with the lock so it can't unlock. And do you think that I could do you think that I would know enough to like try to lock it so that it doesn't unlock?
Yeah. I feel where your plan's going. So yes.
So I'm basically going to tell them to go in to distract them while I do it.
Okay.
You guys on board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say. Okay. Because it's one thing that Sven's good at is getting out of doing work, and I need to try to convince them to get out of doing this work.
Exactly.
So Sven and Pillsbury, you walk back into the room as Finn begins to fiddle with the lock.
And I'd like to use 2 adversity tokens to go unseen.
Yes, because you're unassuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you've spent your 2 adversity. You are definitely stealthing it up.
Okay.
So the 2 you come back in. Boys, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna pretend that I'm like just emotionally not good to go back in.
Yeah.
Sven will say Finn's a little he needs another moment, but like Sven's gonna pull up a desk and pull up another desk for Pillsbury and just kind of pull up chairs, and he'll just steeple his fingers sitting down and say, all right, we have some questions, a lot of questions. And he'll just go into a long treatise of just silly questions about the whole ritual, what's going on with this ritual, what does the Trapp entail that we know of. He just wants to go deep dive just into it, just trying to distract them in any way, shape, or form.
Pillsbury, for every question that Sven's asks, follows up with a quippy joke.
Yes, excellent.
Can both of you?
Oh no.
Because I would like to use flight for this one. Because I am just kind of like.
So I like the idea of
just totally.
When you
I would like to use
checks,
charm.
So when you use these checks, if you want to use a specific thing like flight, so the idea of flight, you just need to justify your action.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about your conversation is flighty?
It's just like it really doesn't matter. He's just trying to take up as much time as he can. He's not sticking on a particular topic. Like their comments don't really mean anything to him. There's kind of one ear.
So you're just trying to go fast.
I'm just trying to go fast, like X. They're just trying to get like 1 or 2 words in edgewise with the quippy jokes in there.
And Pillsbury, what are you trying to charm them?
Pretty much based on like my jokes, they're like, wow, that's really like funny. They really like kind of fall in love with my humor, and like they're getting
Pillsbury.
It like keeps on counterbalancing between the 2 people.
Yeah, like there's a good balance. Like he's distracting, I'm like kind of like getting them to like really just laugh, and then he's back with his questions, and I'm just throwing a joke in there, and they're just
right.
Like,
so you're like the counterbalance.
Yeah,
so it's you're not. I'm gonna say right now, like you're not gonna like just blindside them with your charm. Like, they might think that, but like, that Pillsbury, like he's right. We shouldn't do this. But the idea behind it is that you're like doing the 2 opposites of the spectrum, like tons and tons of questions. You're thinking fast. You're going fast. Well, as you were like, you're trying to smooth talk them and like keep it light
Yeah.
and keep
Yeah,
them
yeah,
not thinking
yeah.
too hard.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
Sven, flight check.
Yeah, definitely
Pillsbury,
channeling his father's like intuitive know-how of like
charm check.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
a 19.
I roll a d20.
Is your charm a d20?
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a.
18.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming that this is like a practice tactic of ours.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You've got a bit. You got
Yeah, this is
a
our bit, like pretty much.
Practicing, yeah.
I'm gonna go
Alright.
with number 12.
All right, so you all are in there. You're just smooth talking. And as they're trying the best to answer your questions, but they keep getting distracted by the jokes. The grand Yeti. He was like, "Oh, they're taking it very well. This is good. This is good." And he was like, "I told you they would be adjusted. I had faith. Once a squatch, always a squatch." And they're like, "Yes, no, this makes sense." And all the while, Finn has just been in the background, like, and about this. After a couple of minutes, you hear that you get it, and you've jammed it. You can tell you've jammed it, and it's not completely shut. So you know next time you shut it, it's jammed.
I'm gonna start softly crying, like fake crying, and then I'm gonna do my Pillsbury call, the woohoo, right in the middle of my fake crying.
That's when I'll know that we need to go check on Finn, because that's whenever he does that, he knows that we know that he's in trouble or he's sad or something. So we're gonna go check on him.
That's when you know that he needs something.
That's when I know, regardless of how I'm feeling.
Because you
Yeah,
provide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So you hear that, and then you all start to hear that. You hear the cry, and then you see Finn's father like, "Oh, I should comfort him." And he goes to like make his way towards the door.
It's like, oh no, we'll take care of him. Don't worry.
We don't want like his potential last few memories to be sad.
Sad
We're gonna
ones, yeah.
we're
Or
gonna
grim. Yeah.
That's very sweet, boys.
Good.
Hey, and I'll open the door and let Pillsbury go through, and kind of poking at Finn like, if we shut this will shut. This will work. All right. As he walks in, says, "Don't worry, this is for your own good." Just shuts it.
I hear like some muffled like what?
And I think that the moment the door shuts, I'm running out of the building.
Right.
So I have to go, "Love you, Mom and Dad.
love you.
See you later, Miss."
Yeah, we're gonna
go
figure
save the
out some
day.
things.
Yeah.
You're gonna say the what?
Yeah. Don't. It's nice to meet you, Grand Yeti. I've heard so much about you.
Yes, of course, but I mean, boys, my door is always open, and then shut the door on him.
Yeah. Oh, we're
Okay, so you're all booking it now. Okay, so you're all outside the building. It's
for good measure, Sven will jam a chair in there as well,
Yeah.
just to
yes,
Yeah.
backing it up.
Nice.
just
Okay,
start legging it.
all right. So you three are running out of the building.
Yeah.
It's evening now. The town meeting has dispersed. There's only a couple of stragglers around, and you run out into the mild evening air. The three of you, what's your plan? What are you thinking about?
I think we should go try to see if we get any clues.
Yeah, we should go to the steel mill and see like if we can, what's there, what's missing, if there's anything that can give us any specific clues as to who stole the blueprints. And
But we know what we shouldn't do. We should never split up, gang.
No.
Never split up, gang. Do not split up. We're all together. This is so much work.
We jump on our bikes and we do the classic Scooby-Doo like quick run and then go off.
Can't do it. Then like blowing up a dust cloud.
It's
Okay,
on
cool.
bikes.
Kids on bikes. You'll like strike a pose and like right
of
off into the
course.
sunset.
Yeah.
But then you you can't hold the pose, and then it just kind of like cuts to you a
Figures
couple
out.
of minutes down the road, a little bit sweatier than before.
The teacher's family drives by and it's like, what are you kids doing? Don't worry, we're gonna save the day. It's fine.
Yeah, we're heroes, don't you know?
You pass by a couple of squatches that they look very sad and morose. It seems they know. And they're
Don't
like,
be sad, guys.
we're sorry, boys. They kind
We're
of
gonna
yell at
save
you.
the day. We've seen too many Flash Gordon serials.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Um,
Alright.
I have a question to kind of
Yeah.
backtrack. When we met the Grand Yeti,
Yeah.
Did he do any type of particular greeting?
Ooh, like a secret squatch
Yeah.
greeting.
Was there anything that when we met him that was odd that we might be able to use if we have to talk to a squatch?
Yeah. Hey, Pillsbury. What did he do?
Oh, he, of course, Mela.
Mela. Which is squashish for
Where's the
what?
squish?
Squish.
Squish. Yeah.
All right, squish. It's official. The secret squish language, that was in your series of questions that you were asking him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is? Yeah.
Talking about like a greeting.
Did we
and-
just create a mechanic that we can go back and figure out information because we did not specify our questions?
Look, there's always this mechanic here. It is a narrative story in which we all help each other
Yeah.
out.
I love it.
I love the idea of squish. Put it in.
It's a squish for may your traps always be full.
It's a lot to say, but
Mela.
squish is a very complex language.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's the traditional greeting. They would say it in English, but it's the only
Right.
thing that they understand.
Gotcha.
Although I did figure out what I'm superstitious about.
Yes.
It was I meant to say it earlier, but it's things going missing actually.
Oh, what does that mean for you?
That's like it's from the old country because you always got to find something because if something's gone missing, that means something's gone wrong, and to put it right, you got to find what you're missing.
Yeah.
That's why you're
So,
also wanting to grab the
the rock.
pet rock.
Yep,
That's why we never split up, because if we go missing,
Oh,
exactly.
I like it.
Yep.
Right. So you all running, or you're pedaling towards the steel mill.
Deep lore going on right now.
I like it. Yeah, it was good. Circles within circles. You got to make connections.
Because my parents own part of it. Would I have a key?
No,
Or,
but
go ahead.
you do know the couple of security guards
Yeah.
Great.
that,
Okay.
that
okay.
are around the place.
So as we get to the steel mill, one of the guards is at the gate, and I'll like sheepishly kind of like bike up and go, "Hey."
So you pedal up, and there is an older woman
Mhm.
in a security uniform, sitting at the booth by the road, because the entire area is basically like fenced off around the steel mill, and this is nearer to the edge of town, so it has space to exist.
Mhm.
So it's all fenced off. It's not barbed wire or anything. It's just like a chain link fence, but it's high enough like you can climb over. There's a couple of guard posts on the inside, but not too much. Essentially, like they want to make sure that nobody's like breaking in there and doing anything at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got this main one on the road. It's like the booth by the road. And it's like there's this older woman there. You know her, very sweet. Her name is Nancy Dawkins. She's a security guard. She's been a security guard for 30 years. Has moved from building to building, and your parents have recently like set her up here. To be honest, she has a weapon that she like never uses. Physically, she probably couldn't do too much anymore, but she still like knows how to use a gun. So you all pedal on up. She's like, "Oh, boys,
Hey, Nance, how are you?
doing good. What brings you out this late? You boys shouldn't be going in there."
now, was Nancy there during the break-in?
Do you want to ask her?
Sure.
Sure.
Good. Just
Yeah, you can just like bring up some conversations like, what are you boys doing? And you kind of like, hey, we just heard about the break-in. We wanted to
wanting to, see Finn said that he left like one of his old, toys back there. We just wanted to see if it was there. Were you here during the break-in?
Well, I'm afraid I was.
Nance, that must have been awful.
I know. Thank you. You're such a good boy. I don't know. We had everybody around here. There's about half a dozen of us, and we were patrolling the building like normal. We didn't hear anything. We haven't found too much out of the ordinary. Just local wildlife things like normal. Yes, but we didn't hear a thing, but the next day we came in and somebody had broken into the offices. We could tell it was quite the scene, and I'm afraid that your father, and he points at Finn, it's like your father seemed very troubled when I told him.
Yeah. Well, he knew that some of my stuff was here. He was worried about my stuff too.
His switchblade has gone missing. His Swiss Army knife has gone missing.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we go in and see, like, just so we can go like find his stuff and hopefully it hasn't been taken?
Well, I don't know. You boys, technically nobody should be in there. It's just kind of a crime scene right now. And she kind of leans over, is like, don't tell anyone. But I need you boys to be out of there soon. Because if anybody else catches you in there, I cannot be held responsible for what happens.
We'll be in and out, Nance. Thanks a lot.
We don't know your name.
Well, you do, but I understand. so yeah, she's just like, wait a couple of minutes for the round to go by, and then you all make your way up in. So this steel mill, it's a 2-story building surrounded by this chain link fence. They have a lot for all the folks who work here. The building itself, since it's the main industry in the town, it's a big place. 2 stories, very wide. A lot of the actual machines are on the first floor, and then the offices are located up and near the back of the second floor. So you know specifically where your father's office is, Finn, and you kind of have like a general idea of the layout. But yes, so you all are going in. What specifically are you looking for, or where are you going?
Because I have knowledge, I would know where normally the plans would be, so we would know at least where to look for, where the crime scene is and, what may be off about that area.
Okay, so you know like where the offices are, which is what they mentioned. So you're gonna head up that way.
And since they mentioned that, our parents will be killed by a spirit, kind of wanting to see if there's any, residual
ectoplasm.
That's exactly what is there anything slimy? Is there anything like magical? Anything like weird that's not supposed to be weird?
Yeah, because they said that they didn't hear anything, but it was trash.
Yeah, anything that because I don't know up until this point if we really believed in this specific spirit.
All right. So noted. You all go in. They've got these long rows of these steel cutting machines. On the lower floor, they have one of the giant vats where they melt down the steel, and then it makes its way along these essentially assembly lines to be formed and made into specific traps. And you can see just like the way that it's up, there's a lot of like little nooks and crannies that are hiding around because there are steel beams lying down. There's several different types of machines that are made for like cutting the steel, fusing the steel, molding the steel. There's a lot of molds in here too, and you can see several workbenches on the lower level. It's not very well lit. Essentially, only the emergency lights are on right now as you come into the building. And you make your way onto the main. Where do you? So you come up to the outside. You bring your bikes in with you and like store them off to the side where nobody can see them. And you make your way upstairs, making sure you don't see any guards. There, that again, there's about half a dozen of them. So you don't spot any right now. It's dark enough; you will probably see them coming. Now that we're hitting evening and tonight, probably be flashlight time.
Sure.
You make your way up to the second level. Now up here, it's a lot more as opposed to the lower level, which was a lot of these large, like long machines that essentially form like these long hallways, and there's a lot of like debris and stuff hanging around. Up here is much more maze-like. When you come up to the second level, all these rooms are like they're like self-contained like things. There's a couple of like winding hallways that go through the top of the building. There are several smaller rooms off to each one of the sides that operate sort of like cubicles. But again, these offices, some of them are more well-made than others. Some of them like are just there to have an extra area to form some of the machinery. Some of them are much more paperwork focused, which is what you all notice. And about this time, you make your way back towards Finn's father's office. And you can tell which one it is immediately because there's police tape as you come up to the front door. You kind of peek inside. It's very disheveled. Glancing around, you know that nobody has been allowed onto this premises yet. Basically, this has been kept internal with the couple of police, but the Squatches seem to be involved.
Have we seen any, besides security guards, have we seen any Squatches around?
Around here?
Yeah, around the building, because they're the ones that know.
You have not seen any in the building. You saw a couple on the road up to the building.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like they have been in the premises, but they've not been, or they've been in the area, but they've not been on the premises.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you make your way into this office. It's basically pitch black. You flip on the light switch. Comes up on a very disheveled space. First thing you notice, kind of a gamey smell in here. You're not quite sure where it's coming from. You can see some peeking around on the floor. There seems to be mud that has been caked in some of the recesses and corners. Of the books, this place has obviously been turned head to toe. The way that it's set up is you enter in. On the left is a couple of bookshelves, kind of like a study. There is a smaller, it's kind of like a 2-room office. So you have like the front room, and then you have the smaller back room for private meetings, and that's where his desk is. But this main area is it has a workshop planning board. It has several books and what do they call? I guess blueprints. So like rolled up pieces of paper and such. You can obviously tell like all the tools, so like anything that's used to like sketch out projects or edit would be held up here. And you make your way back to the office, and you can see that this place, especially, this place just reeks. It smells like wet fur in here. You see your father's desk, and you can see several. He has a couple of different storage devices, and one of the safes, it looks like, has been pried back. And something that's interesting, besides the fact that I got pried back, is you can see that there looks to be like some leafage and roughage around it. So like a couple of vines that have curled up on it, and a couple of like thorny plants that seem to have sprung in this area. and you can see where you presume would have been where the plans were kept. They're not there.
Do we recognize where these plants might have come from?
Roll a brains check for me.
Oh, guys. I may need some help. Come on, 8. 7.
Okay. So you look at these plants, and they do seem familiar to you. You don't know exactly what kind they are. I mean, you don't. Who studies plants? Who studies plants? Lamer, I don't. Whatever. Nerds.
Botanists, I know.
Are you a bot? Are you an aspiring botanist, Sven?
Yeah, he just
I
sits
can be.
around looking at plants.
Loves to smoke the plants every now and again.
Plants don't expect you to do anything. That's why he likes them.
Plants.
Are there? So the safe has been pried back. Are there any like kind of markings on the safe or anything like claws or any like sort of?
That's a great question.
Yeah. So as you take a closer look at it, and you don't notice claw marks, it looks like, if you had to guess, that the way that they're positioned, it was vines that did it.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
So where did we
Yes,
recognize the vines
Yeah,
from?
where do we recognize?
Yeah.
Oh yes. You recognize this. This is just some of the local fauna that was down at the park.
Uh-oh.
This part that the wolves avoid.
Yes.
Oh crap.
Sven, what's the name of the park?
Ooh. Ursine Park.
Earthside?
Ursine.
Ursine.
Ursine Park.
I like that.
Okay.
Besides the safe, we know that the blueprints are gone. We see the vines. Do we see anything else that looks like it doesn't belong in the office?
Sure. Scanning around, taking a look. One of the things that you notice is there is a small, what looks to be like a small lockbox sitting on the desk, made out of a very well polished wood that you don't recognize, but still seems to be locked. That is the main thing that you notice at the place here. Other than that, it looks fairly standard.
It doesn't look like it's been touched.
It does not look like it's been touched, no.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah.
Is this something I might be able to pick?
If you'd like to try.
With my screwdriver?
Yeah.
Or with my... I'm assuming that there's like a long, like a single beam on the Swiss Army knife.
Has this box been there prior when Finn has been in his father's office?
No. This is something that, yeah, he does not recognize this.
The walls, the safe isn't like a wall safe that's been pried open, or like a safe that's like on the ground.
It's a wall safe.
A wall safe. Okay.
Ooh, that's even worse.
Yeah. It looks like the vines originated from somewhere in the wall.
In the wall. Cool.
Mhm. Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
So you want to try to pick it.
I would like to try to pick it.
That would be, can you roll a brains check for me?
Oh god, brains again. Oh, I may need help. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Well, try as you might. You can't figure out how to pick this lock.
What is the DC on it?
The DC is... Hold on. Let me reference my... How tough is a DC?
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
Because if we can pull some adversity... we might be able to get into it, but it may not be worth it. We may just want to take it with us.
Yeah, it would be a 10.
Okay, so we're way off.
Neil, what's Pillsbury's brains?
I will say that once we try an avenue of approach,
Yeah, someone else.
we couldn't repeat it again. The idea of like once somebody like has the inspiration to do it, they try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Okay,
Right.
can I try a different method?
Do you all want to try a different method?
I would like to try to throw it on the ground and break the lid with using my grit.
Before we try that,
sorry.
Can we check the desk to see if there's a key somewhere for it?
Oh yeah, that's probably the smart.
Yeah, like whoa, I'm all for it, but yeah, let's see if we can check that desk.
Sure. Yeah, you start scanning through the desk.
And can someone maybe check the safe?
Also, I got an adversity token, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you scan through the desk. You do not find a key.
Okay.
And you said you scanned through the safe. You don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look through the safe. Nothing in there. Just some dust and maybe like seems to be a little bit of like goop.
Uh-oh.
What kind of goop?
Oh, goop.
I don't know.
The
Transparent
good or
goop.
the bad kind of goop?
What was the goop? I'm sorry.
What does it taste like?
Would you like to taste it?
Yes.
No.
This is how Pillsbury gets possessed by a ghost. Okay, cool.
This is excellent. Roll a brawn check for me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
This is my first one, guys.
Yay!
Yeah. Rolling dice. What are you
What
rolling?
does the +1 mean? That means
Whatever your die roll is +1.
What are you rolling?
Braun, he said.
12. 3.
+1 for 4. All right. So you taste it. It's nasty. It like you just like you feel sick, like you're gonna vomit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh.
That's one rip.
Yeah, it's gonna be some nasty farts.
And that's what makes you feel better. It just processes through me.
Yeah. So he said, but then immediately like, yeah, your stomach is upset. You might be a little bit gassy here, for a little
Sorry,
bit.
guys. I'm gonna.
What does the goop smell like?
It does not have a smell.
So that's gonna freak Sven out, and he's kind of gonna like jump backwards clumsily, knocking over a trash can, as is his way.
Sure. So all of a sudden he tastes it like, ugh, and then you see Sven kind of go over like, ah! And he freaks out, like trips backwards and stumbles, knocks something over, just like a bang up there, and somewhere in the distance you hear, hello?
Oh, it's a box.
Oh crap.
Someone up there?
I'm gonna grab the box and stuff it in my backpack.
Sure.
We need to run.
Yeah, I think we do.
So about this, as you're thinking that, you start to hear like some steps coming down the hallway here. They sound pretty close.
Yeah, we should probably run.
Are there any windows?
Is there any ladders outside of a window, like a safety ladder?
So the way that this office is set up, like this maze set up, it's like all indoors. These offices.
Because it's on the second floor, is there possibly some type of fire escape?
If there is, it's not in this office, but there could be, yeah.
Would I know if there was one really close by?
Sure. You think there's one, I think, down the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one down the hallway.
Okay, I'm gonna just motion for everyone to run and lead them into. You said that there are offices lining this area, right?
So
into just
as
one
you,
of the other ones.
As you go up to the door, which you close behind you, you can hear like essentially on the other side, not directly behind the door, but like in that hallway outside, you can hear the sounds of somebody like opening offices and checking doors.
Oh.
Like somebody up here.
Crap. Um,
All of us fit into the wall safe.
And we fit
I
into
would
the
not
wall
go into
safe.
the wall safe.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hide.
Well, you
One
said
of
you said to the left there was a closet, right?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Can we hide it? Is it one that we can close the door?
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay. You all are going to go into this like next to the bookshelves. They're going to go to the closet over there.
Yeah.
You're gonna go
If I use 2 adversity tokens to go unseen, does that extend to the other 2 people? If I am
will
hiding
help-
with them?
No. It would definitely if you were in a situation where it's just you can go unseen. You feel pretty confident you could like sneak around the office, but if you're hiding in the same space as somebody else, it would not extend to them.
Possibly use your. Am I allowed to talk about his adversity token?
Yeah.
You use it, get invisible, lead the guy in another direction so that we can use the escape.
Are there stairs around the office? Like, could we get to the first floor from this floor, like from where we are?
Yeah, you can make your way down a couple of these adjacent hallways and like scoot around where you think the path is. You know the path better than they do.
Okay. Do we want to try to maneuver our way out or hide?
Or.
Should probably try to.
Time is of the essence.
Oh shit.
Let's try to scoot.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's get
so
out of
I'm going to use my. This is so stupid. I'm going to use my 2 adversity tokens to run out. And is there any like broken glass or anything around the floor next to the door or in the office in general? Something that'd be heavy.
You could just grab a book.
Okay, I'm going to grab a book, use my 2 adversity tokens to go outside the door and throw it behind the person that is looking for us. So in the opposite direction of where we are.
Okay. So yes, that happens. So
Okay.
you like slink out, kind of like, and you're like peeking. You go around the corner to watch what happens, and about this time you see middle-aged man, one of the security guards. You don't know his name.
Yeah.
But middle-aged, brown hair, has a couple of cuts on his cheek from a steel mill accident. As you do.
Ah, it's old Bob.
Old Bob. Old Bob. He's been around for a long time, but not that long because he's still kicking. So he walks out like, what the hell was that? And about this, and then you motion for the others, and they get out into the hallway. Pillsbury.
Oh no.
Yes, Pillsbury.
No,
I need
boy.
I need you to roll. I need you to roll a grit check for me. You need to hold it together because your
That
stomach's
might happen.
Your stomach's
What's your
in a lot.
grit? What's your
Your
grit?
stomach's in a lot of pain.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
5.
Yes.
That's not bad.
So you just like you get out into the hallway. You're like oh. You're just like a little like squeaker, but it's not loud enough to carry. Like, cut to the other two. Like what?
That's little green floats up from a butt.
Yes. And you all make your way out to the hallway. And about this time, as you like round the corner out of sight, you hear him. It's like, what the hell? And you hear him walking back towards the office that you were just in.
So if we can get
you'll
down
scoot
the
down.
office, yeah.
Yeah, you'll scoot down to the first floor again. In the
And
distance.
as we're running, I'd like to see if we can see any other vines.
Sure. So you notice as you're going through what looks like a little bit of natural growth, but it's the same sort of vines that you saw earlier. Maybe in a couple of cracks here and there.
Okay.
Like unassuming for the untrained eye, you think like, oh yeah, maybe it's just like stuff growing in the building, whatever. Plants grow through stuff, but
yeah.
It's obviously too much of a coincidence that,
Okay.
that these are also growing here. You make your way down to the first floor. In the distance, you see another one of the security guards with a flashlight. They're not actively looking for you. They're just kind of like around.
Just
And
do
then
the normal beat.
Yeah, and then you hear him yell up the stairs, like, "Hey, you find anything, Bob?" He's like, "I found something's going on here. Something with this. I found a book. Found a book up there, and I think we might have hooligans in the building." And by this time, you're like grabbing your bikes and hopping on them. You like pedal down the road, and you pass by Nancy again.
Finance.
I'll take a hard candy that's obviously in a dish by her desk.
Oh yes.
Is she paying attention when we're going around?
What do you mean?
Is she paying attention? Like, did she notice that we were leaving?
She has to see you leaving. She might not notice your approach, but you sounds like you pedal up next to her and you.
Yeah.
She has some peppermints that you can take.
As is her way.
Keeps me alert.
Is her gun in an easily stealable position?
Yes. It's just kind of like sitting on a desk behind her.
So you said that she didn't notice that we were coming to her, but she may see.
Right. I mean, she'll see you when you pass.
Should I go for it?
Do we need a pistol?
I don't know.
Like this, whatever the fuck.
Will pistols help against ghosts?
Probably not. I just wanted to know.
What an excellent question.
Actually, no, we shouldn't take it because then she has lost something.
Oh, that's fair.
That's
okay,
bad.
right.
That's bad. Yeah.
Okay, then I will not do it.
Cut to Nancy just like at her desk, like, I sure love being oblivious.
Sure glad you all are saying these things in front of me.
Yeah,
enjoy the peppermints.
Oh, peppermints are great. Oh, would you? Well, I'd offer a hard candy to some boys if they're around here, but they're not, so I guess I won't.
Oh, I think there's 3 missing from this one.
As we ride by, I'm gonna go over to Nancy and say, "Hey, found it. Thank you so much for letting us go in."
Oh, you're welcome. I hope you all didn't cause any trouble.
No, we're good.
Trying not to.
That's good.
Hey,
That's good.
It's getting really dark. You mind? Do you have a flashlight we could borrow?
Yeah, I'm afraid I can't give that to you, boys.
Well, it's getting
I need
dark.
it for my shift.
We don't want to get into an accident as we go home.
Oh. Roll a charm check. You charmer.
Damn it! It's a D4.
Trying to sweet talk the old
adversity.
Trying to sweet talk the old lady.
Got a 2.
No means no, Finn. I'm not giving you.
Can my friends help me on that?
No. For you, Neil, there's a difference between rushed actions and planned actions. Normally what happens if you rush an action, nobody can help you. So there's a mechanic where you can add your own adversity tokens to somebody else if you're playing an action to help them out. Rush actions, you can't do that, but I will tend to be less severe about punishments because it's already a tense action if you're doing it quick. Whereas planned actions, you get more help doing them, but if you mess up, then the consequences are probably going to be more dire because you planned.
Also, Neil, remember that when you do a check, if you think it's too low, you can use your own adversity tokens to add 1 per adversity token to your roll.
Discuss adversity tokens for me.
Say what?
We haven't really discussed what adversity tokens are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so adversity tokens are essentially whenever something bad happens to you, like say whenever you fail a roll, you get an adversity token.
I just got one then. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And these adversity tokens are essentially like a little like pick-me-up. Like you can use them to overcome adversity. That's the idea of like you've been through adversity and you're persevering with these. You start off with 3, so everybody started off with 3. Some of your abilities interact with them. You can use them for if you just want to give a +1 to one of your rolls, you can do that for yourself or a friend if it's a planned action. Mm-hmm. And then some of the abilities use it. Like Finn has used unassuming twice now to just hit that ability is you get to only use You use 2 to go unseen. What does easygoing do?
That's the one where you get 2 tokens instead of 1 if you fail.
Yeah. So normally, whenever you fail, you get 1. If you're easygoing, you get 2. Cause yeah, man, cool.
But
like
Whatever.
Separate die. Just I'm looking at Jackson's.
it's like a token basically.
Oh, I'm just using it as my token.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't actually add a die roll. It's just a singular 1 per token.
You just add
Ooh.
a +1 to
I
your die.
have may spend 2 adversity tokens to reroll a stat check. I say I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's your ability too. So you can essentially re-roll by spending 2. Yeah.
Woo!
All right, but yeah. So Finn failed his rush check. And she's like, "No means no. Don't make me tell your father that you were here after hours.
I
He
immediately
wouldn't like that."
I immediately start going, "Oh, I shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry." And I like right off.
No, I didn't. Wow. He'll get over it.
I'm sorry, Nancy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Nancy. It's been a rough day for him.
Oh, he's always like that.
Parents are gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you all ride off.